Namaste. Today I wanted to talk about spring gardening. I zone in garden 7 and our spring gardening kind of starts sometimes in the month of March. It could be the second week of March, most of the time it's second week of March, and then some of the seeds will be planted directly into the soil and some plants need to be prepared and be ready, which will go out in the month of March for us. So let's talk about the seeds which I'll be starting indoors in the next couple of weeks. So these can be transplanted as plants in the beginning of March. That is like, it feels a long time, right? This is only the end of January. So we have like 5 or 6 full weeks of planting. And in my kind of growing experience, like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbages, if I do give them about 4 to 5 weeks of growing period, they do well when they are transplanted outside. I like them to be a little bit more sizable plants when I put them out. I don't like them to be teeny tiny seedlings. Like things like spinach or kale or beetroots, I don't mind even if they're just like tiny little seedlings. But these things, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, I like them to be a little bigger size. So I'll be starting those seeds indoors sometimes, probably the end of this month, which is like, it's already is January 27th, probably sometimes in the next couple of days, or maybe latest by the next week. So let's start with the things which will be starting first, which will be this is early purple sprouting broccoli. So they do not form a big head of broccoli. They actually buttery soft and nutty flavored overwintering broccoli from UK, grows unprotected in zone 7B and warmer, in cooler temperature and can year over winter in hoop houses and greenhouses. We don't want that. So it says it is better if it is planted in fall, which I did not. So I'm going to give it a try and then try to grow them now. So I will start these seeds. These do not form like a big broccoli head, but actually they kind of form like florets, I like them. I like those kind of broccolis, which kind of have like a long stem with a little bit of a flower at the end. I kind of like them to be more, I don't know. When I cook them, I just like them. Like roasted ones, they tend to be very, very tasty. The second thing which I usually start in the garden indoors is Hakuri kohlrabi. Sorry, this is kohlrabi. This is a hybrid. It says hybrid kohlrabi. I've had this packet for some years now, and it came with about, I don't know, 50, 60 seeds, and I have grown from the same packet for 2 years. And I think this year also I'll be able to grow. Next year, maybe I'll buy another seed packet. Kohlrabi, if you have never tried, they are the most delicious things. They almost taste like apple to me. You can make a slaw, you can eat them raw in a salad, you can roast them, you can steam them, you can make a sambar with them, you can make raita with them. I think it is a versatile vegetable which actually is underused. This variety especially says they harvest beginning when the bulbs are young, so you have to kind of that's one of the reasons why I grow them, because when I go to the store and buy the kohlrabi, they're usually very big. They're not very, very tender. And when I want to eat them raw, they kind of don't have the taste which I really like. One of the things I really like growing in the gardens are the ones which are rare to find in the market. I'm not growing any cauliflower this year because of the same reason. In my experience, I'm motivated to grow things which are not easily available in the market, or they're just a little bit fancier, either because of their taste or because of the way they look. Like, the sprouting broccoli has like a beautiful color to them, but also they don't form big heads and they have this high stalk. A lot of people don't like them, so they're not easily available in the market. Even if they are, because lots of farmers are not growing them, they tend to be expensive. So it's just easier to grow them. Those kind of things which I'm really interested in. Same with kohlrabi. You can also get like a purple kohlrabi, which I like. The color is amazing. It's beautiful. But the taste wise, I'm not a huge fan of it. So I still will grow just because of the beauty of it. A couple of seeds and not a lot of them. But then I do like the green ones a lot. Another thing which is, again, not very easy to find in the market, but I love them, are Hakuri turnips. These are like Japanese turnips. They're very, very small. They look like these red small cabbages, the ones we get in the stores, like the smaller red one, purple or red ones you get. They almost look like that, but they are more tastier. They're toasted. I make sambar with them. I make salads with them, and then they are just very, very tasty. I love Hakuri turnips. So again, those are the 4 which I will be starting in the garden, at home, indoors, sometimes this week or next week. Okay, those are the four kind of the big brassica ones. So now let's talk about the things which will go next are peas. These will be directly planted in the garden. And if you're looking for varieties which usually really do well, for me, one is this you can buy from any seed company. One is Super Sugar Snap. I love this thing. These are very, very tasty. And peas are one of those things, right? If you ever eat peas and straight from in the garden, right? I also have a hose of water. I just rinse them and then just snack them there. They taste very, very different than if you were to pick them and bring them and then sit them on the counter and eat them later. So these are the things which I'd like to grow because, again, this is a privilege to be able to grow your peas and eat them so fresh, so sweet. They almost taste like candy. My favorite sugar snap peas. Also, Sugar Daddy is one of the great, variety. Again, you can buy from any seed company. This is Renee's Garden, but you can buy from any seed company called Sugar Daddy. Those are my absolute two favorites, Sugar Snaps and Sugar Daddy. I also will grow like a shelling variety. I have Kelvedon Wonder here. This says tried and trusted true British variety, super early dwarf plants requiring no staking, great in containers too. So they have like a great shelling variety, which I really like. So, to make cook them, saute them, make matar paneer, or put them in pulavs and stuff. So I will grow them for that. But I actually like eating just raw peas. I think they're absolutely wonderful. And if you're a beginner gardener and you want to be successful in gardening, and then you're just like, I don't know where I want to start, I ask people to usually start with radishes. Radishes are super easy to grow. This one especially, the French breakfast variety, which has this pink, root with a white tip, is the most amazing variety ever for two reasons. One, this doesn't bolt. So one of the things about root vegetables is if they like cooler temperature, and a lot of varieties will bolt. That means they will flower without really producing any bulbs if it gets too hot. And that happens with a lot of radish varieties in our area, actually, because we have these consistent cooler temperature, but suddenly some days we will get 60, 70 weather, and then it consistently holds 60, 70, let's say in the month of April, sometimes for 3 or 4 days. And these plants panic and they think that it is so hot they need to start producing flowers, so they don't send their energy to forming bulbs. And once you see that long stalk with flowers on the head, that means you can be sure that will not be producing any bulbs. But this variety doesn't do it. You can plant it in the heat of summer, cold winter, it will always produce without ever going to seed, and that's one of the reasons why I always grow them. They're very delicious, very tasty, very pretty to look at. I like to kind of eat them even with breakfast with eggs. I like to saute them. I also like to chop them up and put them in salad. Again, very pretty, very tasty. French breakfast. This is MI Gardeners. This is another seed company I like because they're not very expensive. The seed packets are not very expensive. They range from anywhere between $2 to $3 for a packet. And any of these for a home gardeners like you and me, if we buy one of these seed packets, it comes for about 2 to 3 years, 2 years at least. It doesn't say how many seeds it has. It doesn't say how many seeds it has. It usually will say on their website, or maybe I'm not seeing it, that's all. They will have about, it says 250 counts, approximate seed count 250. So I've had this packet for about 2 years now, 2 or 3 years now, and I grow them all the time. So probably feeling the size, this will be the last year for this packet. I'll buy them again next year. Okay. And it says the maturity till date in 25 days. That means if you plant them the 15th of March, you will be able to harvest them at least the second week of April, which is pretty awesome for any vegetable. Like that's a very quick gratification kind of a thing. So if you want in gratification, pick French breakfast radish. Okay, this one is again from MI Gardener. This is called watermelon radish. I love the color. I really, really grow them for the color. It's white outside, but it's not your pure white. It's like a greenish chartreuse, like a light neon green kind of a thing outside, and then they have this pink, glorious pink inside in it. They're absolutely beautiful. I love them. This is Spanish. It says grown as early as 18th century, and they're very unique, dark black skin with a bright white interior, most incredible looking radishes. You'll find peppery and rich, delicious raw or cooked. The black Spanish thrives in cooler temperatures, so I'll probably start them earlier because they probably, whenever it says like that, that thrive in cooler temperature, that means it probably will bolt if the weather becomes too hot. So these are one of the few things which will probably be going way, way earlier than any others. Daikon radish, this is, for me, this is equivalent to the mooli we grow in India, which is very tastier sambar, potatoes and radishes or onions and radishes. Salads and radishes are like a unique combination. Shredded radishes, like a slaw. You make a palya or a poriyal. It's amazing. I grow I grow them for that. I grow them for that. So again, am I gardener? This is the regular one, which is it's a small variety which we usually find in the store. Just kind of a nice one to have because they again doesn't take a long time to harvest. From seed to harvest, they're about 25 to 30 days, which kind of is very quick, especially in the beginning of the spring where you don't have anything growing in your garden. And when you get like your fresh produce, it always makes you happy. And so those are the vegetables which kind of give you that. Okay. So let's now turn to my second favorite, probably my first favorite. Radishes are my second favorite vegetables to grow in the garden. The first favorite root vegetable is actually beets. I love beets. We grow a lot of beets. And I have probably sometimes I even grow 2 beds of beets because that's how much I like beets. This is called Ruby Red. I have been growing this for a very long time, and this is from Baker Creek. Baker Creek, another seed company, which I really, really like. One of the things I like about them is because they have, when people grow them, the customers leave reviews. So what happens is when customers leave reviews, for example, I would have grown them and I go out and type up my review there, like I'm in zone zone 7, and I started my seeds indoors or outdoors or whatever, what time, and this is how they produced for me. So when I go back and you go back, and if you're growing in my region, you kind of can read through those reviews. So that's why I really like this company. One, they have gorgeous pictures. Their website is awesome. They always are sending like free seed packets with your order. And it's a very popular one amongst the home gardeners, Baker Creek. The ones I usually grow are the small varieties of beets. They don't grow into very large heads. They are very small, which kind of I like smaller radishes. Again, very good for roasting, cooking, shredding. And they will be, they'll taste great. I also eat the leaves, and their leaves are delicious too. The second one is golden beets. It's just called golden. The variety is called golden, which I really like. Again, Baker Creek, and they have they're pretty large beets, and they produce like beautiful golden colored, like a yellow colored beets, and when roasted, I think they are very tasty. And if you don't like beets, just because they are like earthy in taste, you probably will like the golden ones because they don't have that intense earthy taste. And this is Golden Boy. They're like very small ones, like radishes, just for the size. They're like a nice snacking beets. I like the color. I like the size of them. That's why I grow. Okay, so let's talk about the last variety of root vegetables I grow, and that is carrots. Not very successful with them. I did grow successfully last year, and these were the 2 varieties I grew last year and successful. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing this year. One of the things I have noticed about carrots is that they like a constant moisture, and I did not figure it out until last year how to do that. These seeds like to be sitting in cold, wet, not like a rotting wet, but they like cool and like a moist temperature, a moist kind of an environment for them to germinate. Once they germinate, they will be fine. You don't have to do anything to them. They will kind of take off. But germinating carrot is not an easy thing. And I was failed for first 3 years. Last year was successful. So I'm going to do that again. This is called ox heart. It reminds me of my mom and I were talking the other day. It reminds me, in Canada, we call them gejri, which is like a very kind of heirloom kind of a variety of carrots we used to grew up in India. They were not very sweet, and they kind of almost have a very severe earthy taste. So they're good for cooking. I don't find them very good for snacking, but they're great for cooking. So that's why I grow them. And I also because they're stout and not very long and tapering, I feel I'm more successful in growing them and growing these varieties. This is called Atomic. I did grow a few of these. They have a beautiful color. That's one of the reasons why I like them. They have like a great flavor too. Darker carrots do tend to be a little bit more sweeter. Okay, so let's talk about greens now. Greens are probably one of the major, which take up a lot of real estate in our house, is greens, because we eat a lot of greens in my house. Especially my husband and I, we pretty much have smoothies every day in summers, like, for breakfast. And so even if just for two people, you have to be able to harvest smoothies every day, you need a lot of greens. We also make soppin saru, which is like the mixed greens, sambar, spinach dal. We eat a lot of greens in this house. So I grow a variety of greens so that we have supply of green vegetables and leafy greens throughout the season. Okay, starting with the spinach. The variety, I grow two varieties of spinach. One is this curly leaves. For some reason, I do not know. Both the packets say they're Bloomsdale, long-standing, and this says Bloomsdale. They're two different companies. This is from Botanical Interest. Again, another good company. These are some of those. Botanical Interest is one of those you will see seeds in the store. Like Baker Creek, you have to order online. M.I. Gardner, you have to order online. But Botanical Interest is something you can find in the stores. I find them in lots of stores here. Like Whole Foods have them, like an Ace Hardware is another garden center here for us. They have them, like a lot of garden centers will carry Botanical Interest. So I grow a curling variety. You kind of have to refer to the picture, I guess. And then also the regular one. This one I really like cooked. This one I like in salads. So I grow both varieties. And I grow a lot of spinach. I grow in like a full beds of spinach. And I keep putting seeds throughout the season. So I have a continuous harvest of spinach to keep eating. And then second favorite greens to grow is kale. Again, one, because I feel for the amount of real estate it takes, it grows a lot. One plant almost begins to become about 2 to 3 feet, and you just keep harvesting the bottom leaves, and the top keeps growing taller and taller and taller. And it produces all the way. It might slow down a little bit during the summer month, but then it takes off again in fall, and you can keep harvesting. I mean, even if I went to the garden now, I will still find some kale leaves to harvest. So they can take cold, they can take a frost. They kind of slow a little bit during the peak of the summer, but they keep going for a very, very long time. And I do put a lot of kale plants for us to use. Two of my favorite one is this called Nero Toscano, which is also called as dinosaur kale. Sometimes it will be labeled as dinosaur kale, but it's the same variety. And the other one is Red Russian. It has like purple curly leaves, produces really well, probably much more milder than the Dino variety or the Toscano. These are much milder, and I love the color. I'll chop them up. Sometimes I put them in the oven and toast them and make them kale chips. Sometimes we just eat them in smoothies, salads. I make dal, all of that. Okay. I think one of the most undervalued green vegetable in the garden is Swiss chard. Swiss chard has this, they come in a lot of colors. This is the original, I don't know. Now they call them rainbow chards. You'll get them in like a little bit of a pinkish color and a yellow one, but this is like the red one is the original, I would guess. And it, again, you can start the seed indoors, put the plant out. It produces heavily. One leaf is very, very big. And in my experience, I usually just always put 4 of these plants. And by the end of the beginning of summer, sometimes I even pull out 2 plants and only leave 2 in the ground, because I get tired of eating Swiss chard. Great vegetables, again, to saute them. They have these thick stems, which makes them a good candidate to chop them up and saute them like you would make like a curry or a palya for a side dishes with rice and chapatis. They make like a great variety for that. Love Swiss chard. Okay, and another green we grow is Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach is one of the things which produces black seed heads, and they fall, and the next year the seeds come out. So it's been a while since I actually have planted Malabar spinach, because I always have ready plants in my garden because it drops the seed all the time. And then you just have to kind of move the seedlings wherever you want to, but it's super easy to grow. Leaves are very thick and succulent, and they kind of taste like okra, like slimy. So if you're not a fan of that texture, then maybe you won't like it. We like it. I don't use them in smoothies, but I will cook them in, put them in sambar. I'll use them in sauté dishes with lots of things. you can do smoothies. I mean, my husband and I have had smoothies, and I don't think it's very bad. I really like them. The stems are edible, the seeds are edible, the leaves are edible. It's also a very gorgeous plant. It takes up space because it climbs. It's a vine, so it does take up space. You want to plant it in a place where you can allow it to climb. Thick, succulent leaves. I think they're tasty. I wouldn't eat them every day, but then once a week, I have no problem eating them. Okay. Now, last two, let's talk about lettuce. I know this is a long video because greens are one of our favorite things to grow. Leaves are one of the favorite things to grow, and we do grow a lot of greens. Lettuces. This is the lettuce I like the most. This is just a packet from Home Depot. Ferry Morris is the company. You can find them in Home Depot, Lowe's, everywhere. Again, I've had this same packet for 3 years now, and again, they produce very, very large head of lettuce. If you don't want them to form a head, you can just keep pulling out the external layers of greens, and you keep chopping up and making them salads, which I do. But if you kind of let them grow, they do produce a very large head of lettuce. Romaine, very crisp. I like to kind of dunk them in ice cold water and then chop them up and then serve them in salad, which I really like. I think they're very crispy. They're very tasty. I love a good romaine salad. This is a new one I'm growing this year from Renee's garden because it has beautiful colors. The reviews said it has beautiful, it's just like a fancy lettuce, which you sometimes find in the stores and in some, high style Michelin restaurants and stuff. And I thought I should give it a try. So I'm going to be growing some Blush Batavian Crunchy Lettuce Trio, a special mix of 3 premium French Batavian mixes. Lettuce combines sweet taste with tender but crispy texture and great garden performance in both hot and cold temperature. The colorful trio contains intensely red crystal, bright green, wavy leaved soprane, I don't know, and softly red tinged rosea. So these are the ones which seems to be these are the 3. I've never grown them. The seed packet is not even open, so I'll be growing them. I'll let you know what I think. I also got free seed packets from last year. I think I ordered them, and I got seed packets from free seed packets from MI Gardener for just putting an order in. And it's a complimentary salad mix. So salad, whenever you buy like a salad mix thing, you just kind of sprinkle the seeds on a bed. And then when they kind of produce about 1 inch or 2 inches of, not 1 inch, 2 to 3 inches of height in the leaves, you just kind of take like your knife or something and then just cut it, and then it will keep producing back again. So that's kind of a salad mix. You don't grow them individually. You just kind of grow them in a bed and then just harvest them. But I like to harvest them not with a scissor but with a knife. I just go there and hold it and then just run my knife, and then I'll have like a handful of greens for salads every day. I think if you like eating salads, you probably should definitely try and grow some salad mix. Again, very easy to grow. Very, very easy to grow. What else did I forget? I think that's about it. Oh, amaranth. I love growing amaranth. It's a huge family. There are lots of flowers. Like the florists use them too because they produce beautiful red and green flowers. Florists use them to make the bouquets. But as a South Indian, we love eating their leaves. It's called dantin soppo in Canada. And it's amazing. You can eat the stalk. Again, the tender stalk can be harvested and eaten. And this is like a little green and red variety. Like it has the both green and red in them. And I definitely grow them. And they do take off and become into sizable plants. So you don't need a lot of them like spinach. You need like maybe 3 or 4 plants. And then you can keep harvesting them and then it keeps shooting. I think it stopped producing for me in August or maybe September. Until then, it was growing. All the way from April to September, we were harvesting amaranth leaves in the garden. So those are the seeds I will be growing in the spring. I know it's a long video, but I will keep you updated. So next video will be about summer vegetables. What are the things I'm growing in terms of like peppers and tomatoes, the varieties I'm growing. And probably I will also be seeding some pepper seed that day. So hopefully I can get that video out pretty soon. If you watched the entire video, thank you for sticking by. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. And take care. Bye-bye.